New World Order, right? You hear this phrase, New World Order, New World Order, New World Order, right? And yeah, I went with our crew, Brandon, Rob, and I were like, listen, when was that phrase first used? For example, when I lived in Iran, 78 to 89, almost 11 years, right? So I said, Iran used the phrase death upon America first, right? Mark bad America. And if you look at who's the first person that said death upon America, Rob, if you Google that, the first country that said death upon America was North Korea. Okay. And they said it, I think, in 54, 59. If you zoom in, can you see what the exact date is? If you go on the Wikipedia, death to America, and you Google, type in North Korea, type in Control F North Korea and go to it, it'll give you the date. Zoom in a little bit, Rob. Yeah, North Korea, thank you. If you can zoom in, go lower. 1979 was Iran, but keep going to North Korea. It should tell you 1950s, right there. 1950s is the first time. So 2 countries have only used the phrase death upon America. That should tell us something about who says that. Iran and North Korea, right?
Yeah.
And prior to that, nobody ever said death upon America. I'm curious. So the first time the word New World Order was used in the States was exactly 9/11, 1990.
Wow.
9/11, 1990 by Bush Sr.
Yeah, I remember when Bush Sr. did it. I didn't know that was the day.
Well, the speech that we have, he said this in a different meeting, but this one is not 9/11. This is another meeting right after that. I think this is January or February of 91.
This looks like State of the Union.
Yeah, it is. Play the clip, Rob.
A new partnership of nations has begun, and we stand today at a unique and extraordinary moment. The crisis in the Persian Gulf, as grave as it is, also offers a rare opportunity to move toward an historic period of cooperation. Out of these troubled times, our 5th objective, a new world order, can emerge, a new era, freer from the threat of terror, stronger in the pursuit of justice, and more secure in the quest for peace. An era in which the nations of the world, East and West, North and South, can prosper and live in harmony. 100 generations have searched for this elusive path to peace, while 1,000 wars raged across the span of human endeavor.
You can pause it right there.
And
what do you think about this?
I remember at the time, I was
26, 25?
Yeah, so I'd been, 26. So I didn't think a whole lot about it. I mean, I was on the wrestling mat, helping guys become All-American and hopefully win some Big Ten championships. But it is kind of interesting when you look back, it's been that long. I am nervous, though, in today's world about these guys in Europe who, they all fly over there and they do their, where's that event they do every year?
Davos, World Economic
the Davos,
Forum,
of course.
Schwab,
and they're all, the Klaus guy. The Klaus guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he just seems kind of creepy and strange to me, and talking about some of these same kind of terms. Like, look, I'm for America. I want America to be the greatest country, the leading country. One of the things we've traveled to Israel several times, my wife and I, with other members of Congress. And when you're over there, one of the things the folks in Israel will tell you is they say, the best way you can help us, the best way America can help Israel is for America to stay strong. If America is strong, we're better off. And I would argue the world's a better place if America leads. Our values, our principles, our economy. And so I'm not, there he is. I'm not too interested in this.
He looks like a sweetheart, though. You got to give it to him. His voice is even better. When he speaks, it's just kind of like, what a gentle giant.
Yeah, it's...
you ever heard him speak?
I have.
It's like like Tony Robbins, motivational speaker, just fires you up. It's just...
Yeah, I've got to listen to him now.
No, you have to. Just look how sweet. This is the kind of voice that if you late at night, you have a lot of your stress, let him play, you will fall asleep. You'll have nightmares, but you'll fall asleep. Go ahead, Rob.
Ce nouveau monde, on doit accepter une transparence, et je dirais même une transparence totale. Tout va être transparent.
Yeah. It's better when he does it in English, but Rob speaks French, and he likes to always go to the French videos. He tricks us that way.
This anti-system movement. What we are seeing is a revolution against the system. So fixing the present system is not enough.
You can pause that.
Now,
yeah, just so you want running things, right? Like, holy cow.
But on the inside, are you so, like, you know, I remember I'm in an insurance company. I'm a regular guy. I'm coming up. So, and then all of a sudden, I'm making some noise. Then I become a player. Then I become an executive, chairman with the company, and I'm doing very well, and I'm one of the guys that's in the face of the company, and I get invited to this one meeting where 54, 56 CEOs, vice presidents are going to be in this room. And I walk in to just size everybody up, right? To kind of see what I'm like, oh, wow. I used to look up to that guy. Damn, he's been late to every flipping meeting, and he leaves early, and he's always got a drink in his hand. Wow. Disappointed.
Yeah.
What a great speaker you are on stage. Dude, you're a schlep. What was that all about? Then I'm like, okay, that guy right there, he keeps talking about he wants his commissions to be higher for people that are no longer selling. The last time he sold something was 12 years ago. All he talks about is his handicap. He doesn't like work. He's done. This guy over here, that guy's a killer. He's going places. Who is she? Let me go see if I can have dinner with those guys. And then when you go there, and then some of the guys that have been around for 5 to 10 years will coach you. And they'll say, okay, you want the law of the land? Yes. Those guys have been done. Those 3 are about to get a divorce. That guy's got a cocaine addiction. That guy's a gambler. He's almost lost all his money. That other guy's going through a major issue in his personal life. That guy's got the most talent out of all of us, but he doesn't think big enough. That person's a great person to stay close to because everybody trusts him and he'll never lie to you. Not the biggest earner, but he's the number one character guy in the room. And I remember that moment. I'm like, oh my God, what is going on here? Yeah. Innocent, right? It's naive.
Yeah.
26, 27 years old.
Yeah.
I'm in a room like this, 28 years old. So for you, when you walk in and you're in it, and now you've been in it for 30 years and you're around it, is anybody talking about the New World Order stuff and what things they're worried about and what their concerns is? No, they're just coming to work and doing their jobs.
People, I mean, I think we're rightly concerned about China. I'm real concerned about this talk of central bank digital currency. I don't want the government seeing every purchase we make and all this. It's like that's frightening, particularly when you think about what we've seen the government do.
Talking about CBDC.
Yeah, right. That stuff that's crazy. And I'm not on the financial service. I got some buddies on that committee who are more experts in, you know, I'm not an expert at all, but they're experts in this and they understand it. And they're like, this is bad. And because I've seen it in other areas. I mean, you talk about people in the government that I think are part of the swamp. We deposed as part of this, if you remember the letter, the 51 Intel officials who did this in 2020.
Yes.
So we deposed Clapper and Brennan and Morrell. Morrell's the guy who put it all together, organized it all. At the urging of Tony Blinken, who was working for the Biden campaign. But when we depose these guys, they're the ones who got this attitude. Like in some ways, they would strike me as like the Klaus guy here. When we depose Brennan and Clapper, the arrogance and the idea that they still think Trump is some like danger. I mean, it's like it's crazy. So those are the guys that I think are a concern. I don't know if they're we got members who come focused on their job, serving their constituents back home, which I think is our primary responsibility. But there are some big interest. We got to make sure our military's.
Who are the bad guys? Who are the real bad guys that you're? No, but I mean specific. The bad guys, not the people that are like. Is Chuck Schumer a bad guy?
I think they're. I always say not all Democrats are crazy, but the left that controls their party is. And the left, I mean, you go down the list of all the crazy policy positions. It's crazy to defund the police. The left believes that, though. It's crazy not to have a border. Left believes that. It's crazy to let non-citizens vote in our election. Left believes that. It's crazy to say men should compete against women in sports. But you could just keep going. So it's the left that controls their party.
Who is for sale? Do you know the people that are for sale? Are there anybody that's for sale that they'll sell America for anything?
I wouldn't put it in that terms. I would just put it in like the political, the energy in the Democrat Party is from the left, and the left has this. I mean, look at what's happened. Look what happened on college campuses with. I mean, you had people protesting in favor of Hamas, for goodness sake. They're terrorists. So, And because of that, you have members of, I think, people in elected position who kind of waffle on their positions on Israel, for goodness sake. It's like, so I think that's the concern. It's the energy in their party is the left, and the left is now in control of their party. So much so that you got members of the Democrat Party saying we're going to go to executive session so no one can hear what RFK Jr. is going to testify to in a hearing on censorship. I mean, that's crazy.
But to me, you could be pro abortion, right? And pro-choice. They call it pro-choice nowadays. And you can make your argument, and maybe you're an atheist. Maybe you're an agnostic. Maybe you're not a Christian. Maybe you're a Scientologist. Like, hey, man, pro-choice. Let the woman decide. But that's what you believe in, right? Maybe you believe in higher taxes. Billionaires don't pay enough money. They don't pay enough taxes. Okay, maybe you haven't done research that 80+% of the taxes are being paid by the people that are making money. The bottom 50% pays 4% of all the taxes. The bottom 50% pays 4% of all the taxes. You do a little bit of research and like, oh shit, I didn't know that. I thought they never paid that. So we can have that conversation. But are there people that are evil? Are there people that genuinely are driven by power, and evil tendencies that they're willing to sell their country to somebody else where they're for sale, that China can come and go after them? Is that how it is, or it's just a pure differentiation in policies?
No, I don't think it's treasonous or anything like that. I think there's people who they believe all the crazy left stuff. I mean, they think even though socialism never worked anywhere it's been tried, somehow it can work here because we're so smart and we'll be in charge, and it'll be the first place it actually is works. I mean, I think naive. They want political power. They think in their particular part of the country that's the right position. So it's politics. It's they believe it. It's all that, but I don't think it's corrupt.
You got 4 kids.
Yeah.
Did you send all of them to college?
They all went to college. Yeah.
Okay, so
all graduated too.
Really? Okay, fantastic. Congrats. So I got 4 kids, and if one of my guys' ex-wives was with me, and we were talking. It's me, him, her, and another couple here, and my wife. And she's like a big AOC fan. She had just come from a rally, and she loved AOC just like 10 years ago. And I said, let me ask you a question. Why do you believe in socialism so much? Are you kidding me? All this money rich people making, look what I said, just out of curiosity. In high school, what was your favorite subject? Oh, journalism and, English. I said, okay. What was your least favorite subject? Oh, I hate math. I'm like, I wonder if the pattern and the profile of somebody that likes the liberal left policies, they're terrible at math. So maybe logic and reason and that is a little bit lower. And by the way, there's a lot of data that proves that what percentage of school teachers give money to the left. 98% of English teachers do. Big. And the lowest one is math teachers.
Yeah, math, 87%. Math, science, engineering,
So your 4 kids that went to school,
yep.
Did they go to any schools that are did they go to like Hillsdale, or did they go to Open to?
All Big 10.
Oh, they went to Big 10.
Ohio State, Wisconsin, Iowa.
Did any one of them ever go to school and to call you back and say, Dad, I don't know if I disagree with this. No. What about, that's never happened.
No, I think it makes a difference too if now our oldest daughter was good high school distance runner, didn't run in college, but our other 3 kids were all college athletes. And so I think part of it is, I think athletes think like conservatives. I think there's something about setting the goal, working hard, competition, all the things we talked about before. So both our boys wrestled for the Badgers, and our daughter played. She didn't play particularly well, but she played college golf. She's a pretty good junior player. So sports. I think sports are critical. But I know a lot of liberal athletes. Well, there's some, but there's a lot of conservative guys. It's certainly in the. I talked to the president yesterday. He brought the Penn State wrestling team up on stage. He was in State College. I called him up. We were laughing because it just was funny that he brought him up there. Maybe we talked about that before, but it's certainly in the wrestling world, they're conservative, and I think a lot of them are. You're going to think I'm crazy when I tell you this, but the last 13 and a half years, I've been working on my first fiction book to write ever.
fiction book to write. And while I finished this book, a year ago, I got the strangest phone call about one of the characters in the book where the guy wanted to meet with me and he read the book. And afterwards was like, wait a minute, am I the villain in the book? This is a story about a character named Asher, who is half Armenian, half Assyrian, whose father was involved in the Iranian Revolution, linked to Savak, working with the Shah, that they escape and he gets recruited to a secret society. When you go to the secret society, it's been around for a couple thousand years. They've developed some of the craziest leaders of all time. And they test you. There's unique tests that they have at the society where they test to see your emotional mental toughness. One of the tests that they have is very rigorous. It's purely mental. Of course, there's a physical one, but one is mental and emotional. If you're Armenian, if you're Syrian, if you're Persian, this is a book you're going to be reading and saying, holy moly, this is the kind of stuff you talk about in here? Yes. If you're somebody that's fascinated by history, this is a book for you. Characters. There's a technology that this society, secret society, builds where you go into a vault. I won't spoil it for you. When you go down, they have a technology where you get to sit down and watch and have a 3-4 hour conversation with Tupac. You can set up a debate between Karl Marx and Ayn Rand. Karl Marx is in the book, who wrote Communist Manifesto. Ayn Rand, who wrote Atlas Shrugged, is in the book. Marilyn Monroe explains the concept of seduction and sex in the book. When you read the book, it's about development of the next leaders in the world and how they do it and how they've been doing it for many years. And it's also about how to prevent the end of civilization and how this organization goes about doing it. So, I've never written a parenting book before, but if I ever wrote a parenting book, this is the closest thing to it because it's all mindset, a lot of crazy stories. Again, 13 and a half years. Trust me, I told myself I will not publish this book until I sell my insurance company and I'm fully disconnected from it, where it's no longer my responsibility 100%. When you read this, if you're a creative person, if you like fiction books, if you enjoyed Atlas Shrugged, or if you enjoy Divergent, if you like books like that, I think you're gonna enjoy reading this book. It's the creative side. Business books is very easy. Here's how you do it. Here's how this how it works. This is very creative. If you haven't placed the order yet, now you can order it on Simon & Schuster, Amazon. I'm gonna put the link up below somewhere here, maybe even in my profile. Go order the book and read it. I've never written a book where I can't wait to read your reviews to see what you think about this book. So I'm going on this wild journey and we have some plans with this book here. If you support the things that I work on, I would appreciate you going and reading the book, order the book on Amazon, and then post a review. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.